And I feel like it's only a matter of time when you got 50 Cent hitting people up on Twitter, telling him that they better pay him his money. I feel like now he's just targeting anybody that comes up. And now that Jay-Z has been announced as a billionaire, it just makes sense to me. It just makes sense that be his next target. But I don't know. I feel like that's about to happen. Let me look at this right here. Let me read this from Forbes magazine, Forbes.com. Jay-Z and Beyonce now have a combined $1.4 billion net worth. This is real love. It's real money. It's been a week of high notes for music's first couple. Yesterday, Forbes pronounced Jay-Z a billionaire. Today, Beyonce claimed the number 51 spot on the list of America's wealthiest self-made women. And I said she was a self-made woman. I'm telling you. I feel like she's more self-made than he is. With a net worth of $400 million. Oh, I was wrong about that. $400 million. That puts the pair combined net worth to $1.4 billion. So he is by himself worth $1 billion and she's worth $4 billion. So $1.4 billion. It's bigger than hip hop, said Swizz Beatz, the super producer behind Upgrade You, one of the couple's biggest hits. It's the blueprint for our culture. For Jay-Z and Beyonce, who've been married for a little over a decade, their aggregate fortune in the product of both individual accomplishments and the rare sort of synergy, despite very different backgrounds. Jay-Z grew up in the Brooklyn notorious Mercy housing projects, building an empire in many ways. Out of necessity, he decided to start his own record label in the mid 1990s after the majors initially turned him down. He applied that same strategy to fashion shortly thereafter, launching his Rockaware clothing line with several partners, eventually selling the brand to Iconics for $204 million. Let's see. By that point, Jay-Z had his pick of brands to work with. Yet again, he opted for ownership both with his Armand de Brignac, I hope I'm saying that right, campaign, and the Usse Cognac, a joint venture with Bacardi. As he explained to Forbes in 2010, hip-hop from the beginning has always been aspirational. And let me just scroll down. I'm not going to read I'll read the whole thing. Beyonce went a slightly different route for much of her career. Growing up in Houston, she earned her first taste of stardom as a member of Destiny's Child before going solo. Her fortune mostly came from accumulated cash earnings thanks to her ability to sell out arenas, churn out multi-platinum albums, and land deals with blue-chip brands from Pepsi to H&M. She has honed her entrepreneurial focus, more recently buying back her Ivy Park athleisure line and relaunching it with Adidas. Earlier this year, look for her to handle the venture with utmost care. I've worked too hard and sacrificed too much to do something silly that would mess up the brand I've created all these years, she told Forbes a decade ago. Of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce have also built much of their empire together. In the wake of their Grammy-winning dual album Everything Is Love, they completed On the Run 2, their Encore Stadium tour last summer, grossing $250 million. They've become startup investors, though reports of a $300 million haul for Beyonce at Uber ILP has been debunked, and they've amassed a real estate portfolio spanning the Los Angeles and the Hamptons. Wow. Their careers blossomed together, explained producer Jim Johnson in an interview for my book, Empire State of Mind. He attached himself to all her fans, and they then went and got into his stuff. The same goes for her. But they were, if you were kind of a Jay-Z fan, you're going to be a Beyonce fan. I mean, that's almost the same deal. But yeah, there's probably been some who were not fans of his and then became fans of his later on because of the music that they did together. But that number had to be very small. compared to just the people who were just by default. If you were a fan of hip hop, you're a fan of R&B because they always collab with. I mean, that percentage had to, but at the same time, it's still, no matter how small it is, it's still smart to go after it. So, hey, good on you. The same goes for her. They're the president and first lady of music industry, and that's all that is said about that. So, yeah, I mean, that was written by Zach O'Malley Greenberg from Forbes staff. Now, I mean, like I said, they pretty much have the same audience, the same group of fans. So it's probably a very small number of people go, man, fuck Jay-Z, I don't like Jay-Z. I'm never gonna listen to Jay-Z, but I love Beyonce, and I'm okay, feeling so crazy in love. And then all of a sudden, you know what? All right, I like Jay-Z, but it's not like they went back and went and bought all his albums and stuff. I mean, it's had to be a very, very small number of people. But what do you think? You think this is real love according to them? I mean, they start, they're holding strong. They've been through some ups and downs. It's been 10 years. Wow, they got kids. Could you imagine what would happen if these two split up? Talk about the clash of the fans. Ooh, I hope these guys make it, man. I hope these guys make it. But because you know what, you don't see too many of these stories ending too well. They've already had some bumps and bruises down the line, but you know what? They've gotten over it. Looks like, hopefully, maybe not. But let's see what happens with them in the long run. While I try to let me move on to the next thing. Let me know what you guys think. So put it in the box, guys, and we'll talk about that later. But I still think that one day 50 Cent is coming after Jay-Z. He's coming after that money. You made $1 billion. Guess what? You owe me money. I feel like it's gonna happen. I don't know why. I just feel like 50 Cent is gonna come after him about that. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's likely that 50 Cent is gonna do his little Twitter thing and come after Jay-Z? Say, Jay, you owe me about $500 million, right? I just think it's gonna happen. Let me know what you guys think about that.